Hi. Today I want to talk to you about something specific that happened to me, and I'm gonna be drinking my cacao as we speak. I just want to add a little disclaimer here that I was very self-conscious about posting this video because I don't want this to sound like a rant and me just complaining about something stupid, but I want this video to open space for us to talk about moments in our lives where we felt invalidated just because we didn't fulfill someone else's expectations of us, or maybe we're just not what society expects us to be. And there are moments in this video that I'm being very vague because I am in fact thinking about other things as well. And keep in mind that this can be, interpreted as something you've been experiencing. So back to the video. Okay. I don't know how many of you here knows that I'm vegan. I'm like vegan. It's just easier to explain my decisions just by saying I'm vegan, but I understand how the activism behind it and other things that kind of play out being vegan is not just not eating animals and animal products. There's a lot more. So, but anyway, I'm not an activist, but I try to do my best in terms of animals and the planet as a whole, nature, animals, and people, right? Because we're part of nature, we're part of this whole thing. And today I want to talk about something that happened to me that today, looking back, I just see things differently. And I mean, I was pissed at the moment, but now I'm even more, I'm just angrier about it, So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my vegan story, which is I started wanting to become vegetarian first when I think I was in college, so I think I was around 19. It was late for me because I was always like feeling sorry for animals in many situations, but I didn't make the connection that, I was eating them. So when I did make the connection, I was like 19 or something, but it was hard for me to just stop eating. What is this doing here? So my whole environment was a meat eating environment, and that is something that is very important to the story. So I decided to go vegetarian on my own without any kind of support, without someone, guiding me. My parents eat meat, my friends, I had one friend who didn't eat meat like since she was a little kid, but she wasn't a great example. She wasn't healthy either, and we weren't like hanging out much because she was doing her college things and I was doing my college things. There was nothing really. Anyway, there wasn't someone there like all the time to help me, to guide me, to, it was just me and researching things and learning from my own experience and my own research. So this is important to this. So I would try to go vegetarian, but that was something that was very important for my transition because I started to understand how I felt without the meat. I started to understand how addicted I was to that, and more than more than my I needed to feel good, is more like I need the taste, I need the flavor, I need texture, I needed to fill up my stomach. It wasn't like I really needed it for anything else. And I realized that that was the case. Like, I'm addicted to this. And when I first started, I failed many times. Like, I didn't see it as failing, I saw it as transitioning. And there's this sense of guilt that is embedded. Like, oh shit, I can't not eat meat today, or I'm just separating the meat out of this whole dish, whatever that was, and eating the rest and not eating the meat. I kind of feel cheating, but that was part of the transition for me. And I realized that I can't just go half in. You know what I mean? Just I'm gonna go this a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna do this a little bit, because I wanted to be vegetarian. That was that would be okay if I didn't care about it, about being vegetarian. I would be okay with that transition phase forever, but that was not what I wanted. So it took me a while to, and also there's a lot of what people are going to think, how am I gonna eat in social events or social whatever gatherings. That was the social concern, right? In 2012, I believe, I was able to become vegetarian, like full-time. So I was vegetarian. Like, I would say to people, I'm vegetarian, I don't eat meat, but I was still eating other products like cheese and stuff. Everybody around me was eating everything, which made everything more difficult. But that's okay. I managed. But again, this is an important part. And then in that year, in 2012, I decided, you know what, I need to go all in. I need to become vegan. I want to stop eating all the other stuff. And with that, I think I started, coming more information about the whole veganism thing, that is not just not eating. And there's fashion industry, there are the pharmaceutical industry, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and climate change and all this stuff. So the more I learned about it, I knew that the more I had to do. And I think that's natural about anything. And when I went vegan, it was kind of like my world transformed. It was the best thing I've done for my body, for my mind, for my soul. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just saying this was my experience. I felt so much better. And I used to have thyroid problems, like hypothyroidism. Is that a word? I don't know. But I had thyroid problem that I had to take meds for. And after I started eating the things that were actually nourishing my body, and eliminating things that were bad for me, that is important. That's not just, I used to nourish my body with things, but I was also causing inflammation and allergies to my body at the same time that I ate, other stuff like cheese. And a lot changed. I didn't need the medication anymore, and I felt so much better. I felt so much more energy and all this stuff. And one day years after I went vegan. I don't know how many years, but it was years after that, I had an inflammation on my thyroid. And it was a one-time thing. I never had it again, and I've never had it before, but I had an inflammation, and it was like swollen. You could see it on my throat, and my mom got really scared. And we went to a different doctor because my usual doctor didn't have any time for an appointment. So we went to a different random doctor, and it was a young doctor. And I never went back to a consultation, an appointment with him, because I told him that I think I went 2 times because I had to, do all the tests and then go back to his office. But he was pushy when I talked about being vegan. And I said, I'm vegan and I actually feel better this way. But he was pushy, like, why are you vegan? Like, why don't you eat eggs? Like, he wanted me to eat eggs so bad. I almost felt like he was selling me eggs, because he was like, no, but eggs this and eggs that, and you need them. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time believing that I need to eat another creature's ovulation byproduct. Do you want to eat my menstrual blood? Like, doesn't make any sense. To me, it doesn't make any sense. If you want to eat it, just eat it. But it's not for me. I don't want to do it. And he was like so pushy. And I wanted to slap his face. And then he was like, I remember my mom being at that appointment with me, and he was like, he looked at her. I was in the room. He looked at her and said, she probably has like a teacher or something that is vegan, and it's feeding her that bullshit and stuff like that. And I'm like, What are you even talking about? Like, I'm right here. You're talking straight to my mom, dismissing me, dismissing my choice of not eating the things that he wanted me to eat, dismissing my own views and ethics. And it's not like for my body it doesn't work. I had one inflammation, and it can happen to anyone, and it went away. I treated it, and it's gone, and my thyroid is working perfectly again. So, like, what the hell? And everything else, I am a healthy person. And all my tests, I'm okay, right? So, like, why people insist in telling you are wrong in your choices. And can you argue without trying to make me feel like a little girl who is being manipulated by an older man? No, he made it clear that teacher who was telling me to be vegan was a man. So it's like, you were talking trash to the wrong person, because I can see through you. You don't know how to work with me, with my choices. So you're telling me to give up my choices, give up my ethics, give up my whatever it is, because then I can make your work easier for you. That's how I see it. That was such an uncomfortable appointment. And usually when I discuss things to a point that it becomes an argument, I get super nervous and I get all red, and I kind of, my breathing is shallow, and I kind of, start shaking, and I can't really think clearly to just speak the things that I actually thinking. But in that moment, I really just wanted him to shut up. I just wanted to slap him. He was being so sexist. He was being so dismissive of me and my identity, because that became part of my identity, and I like it. It's something that I like. It's something that makes sense. It's something that always made sense to me, thinking from a perspective that I was a child who was very empathetic towards animals. So, yeah, I mean, I think people, if you are thinking about going vegan, just know that you may encounter those kinds of doctors, and they are, in the situation that is an appointment. Doctors tend to be the authority, right? And just make sure you find a doctor if you can afford it, if the system you live in can offer you that. But try to find a doctor that at least knows what you're talking about, at least wants to work around it and with it instead of despite it, and making you feel like you are wrong. Because I've had enough of that. I've had enough of people making me feel that I am wrong in so many ways. I don't want you to have to go through that. I don't want you to feel the same. I don't know. You may encounter people that will make you feel that way. And if they are doctors, it just make it worse, because they are supposed to help you, and they are making you questioning your ethics. And that's not fair. Because actually it is, because I'm questioning their ethics. I'm literally questioning that specific doctor's ethics, because he wanted me to sell eggs. No, he didn't want me to sell eggs. He wanted me to buy some eggs. That's what I wanted to say. And the detail that I said that was important, I forgot to mention it. When he said that I was being vegan just because of a teacher or some older man, I got so angry, because it was like a flash that I had of the hard time that I had being, the only vegan, the only vegetarian and vegan in the room all the time. Like, I didn't have any support, and still I wanted to do this because I thought it was right, and I thought it was right for me. It just, it's so invalidating that he was painting me as that, like it's a cult, and I'm a clueless girl in a cult where a man controls young women. Like, he made it sound like Charlie Manson or something. At that moment, just when he said that, I was like, I'm not coming back to this doctor ever again, and I hope he goes out of business. I was really mad. That detail was important to this part of the story, and how it made me feel, because it just invalidated everything. And I can't even remember his face. Don't even remember his face, but I still hate him. I don't know why I wanted to make this video. Maybe it will help someone. While I'm editing this video, I'm asking myself, why did I want to make this video? Why did I want to talk about this? And I believe the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because sometimes we end up around people who invalidate us in our experience because they didn't have a similar experience, or they simply don't go through the things we go through. And that really sucks, and that's a really shitty thing to do. Yeah, if you guys want to talk about your experiences, and be it with doctors or whatever it is, leave it in the comments. I'd like to read them. Yeah, like this video if you like this awful story. And yeah, I don't know, subscribe, I guess. I'm terrible at this. So yeah, bye bye.